Hi, this is Steve Robinson, president here at Lansing Community College. I'm making this brief video for a few of Professor Nienkark's English students who wrote me letters as part of an assignment on placemaking. A few students did this last semester, and I just love the project. I want to thank you for taking the time to write to me. I loved your letters, and I want to respond to them in a video really quickly before we end 2020. So thank you so much to your professor, and thank you to you for writing. The first letter I want to talk to is from Hamza. And Hamza, I love this letter. And in particular, Hamza, you mentioned that choosing LCC for the first 2 years of college has helped you a lot. And that's partly due to placemaking on campus. Now, I know that right now, we're not able to utilize our places as often as we had before. But you mentioned two things that really mean a lot to me. You mentioned what you call the dueling guitarists, which is our guitar plaza, and also Newton's Cube. And I want to tell you two things about those places during the pandemic. First of all, let me talk about Newton's Cube. That's one of my favorite pieces of art on campus. It was actually designed by our director of marketing, Bruce Mackley. He's done a lot of our public art. And if you drive down Grand Avenue, there is a big parking structure with a really bright, beautiful kind of mosaic art installation there. And that was something that Bruce Mackley did. He also did Newton's Cube. What's interesting is I learned that we actually had to do some research with a copyright attorney to make sure that we could call it Newton's Cube because it's so close to the Rubik's Cube. You know what a Rubik's Cube is. So that's one of my favorite pieces too. The Guitar Plaza has been really important for me this year because we haven't been able to have inside meetings. So when I met with community leaders, I had them come to campus and we met at Guitar Plaza. I called it our outdoor conference room. So it was really great. You also mentioned, Hamza, that you would love to see more about history and culture of African Americans on campus. I'm going to make a note of that. There's some excellent installations already. Two that I want to let you know. In the Gannon building, we have a wonderful portrait of Malcolm X that was done by the portrait artist for the Michigan Capitol. It is one of my favorite pieces. It's a very large installation. Right when you come in, you turn left, there's a large portrait of Malcolm X. And also, one of our themed classrooms in Arts and Sciences is about the Underground Railroad. I actually had a meeting in there where I joined by Zoom. But we can certainly do more, and you're exactly right. There are some things we could do to highlight African American history on campus through placemaking. So you end, Hamza, by saying, please take the suggestions of students at the college into consideration when making your next placemaking decisions. And we certainly will do that. Thank you so much for this great letter. The next one is from Austin. Austin had a number of things to say in here I want to react to. First, Austin, you say, when I start to reflect on my experiences at LCC, it's how taking online classes has really taught me to stay on track and stay focused with my goals. I'm glad to hear that. A lot of people have had to work extra hard to stay focused during the pandemic with online learning. It's been a challenge. One of our other professors did a focus group with students, and this was one of the top comments that he received, is that it takes a lot more focus to stay on track in an online class. So that's a great observation, and I wanted to highlight that. I also love this story, Austin, about your father. I'm going to read this. Placemaking even helped my father, who attended LCC back in 1973, as seeing the projects of the shop students on display encouraged my father to take a woodworking class. And apparently woodworking has become a big hobby for your father. That's really, really cool. I love thinking about the multi-generational impact that our college has had on families. And so the idea that being at LCC has been important to you and it was also important to your father, I love that story. My own father went to a community college, and I love that story too. And woodworking is a really cool hobby, so I'm really glad he picked that up here. Thanks for your note, Austin. The last letter is from, and I want to get your name right, and I would like to apologize if I didn't get it right. It's either Tazina or Tiziana, and beautiful name either way. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. But You mentioned interviewing a fellow student. They said that the education they were getting here at LCC was challenging their mind. I love that phrase, challenging their mind. I love it when my mind is challenged. That's when I'm happiest, actually, is when I'm learning and when I'm kind of taking on new information that challenges assumptions that I had before. So I really love that that observation you came up with from the interview with your fellow student. I also wanted to highlight this nice piece of praise that you put in your middle paragraph. The professor, you're talking about the teachers here at LCC. The professors respond to you as quickly as possible, and they help you if you're having a hard time keeping up. This semester has been hard, but I'm happy with my choice of going to LCC. I'm really glad you said that, because I've noticed how our professors have gone that extra mile to make sure they're working with their students. And I want to let you know, as students, it's also hard on our faculty and our staff to go through this pandemic. So I've noticed that our faculty have been doing even more to stay connected with their students. I'm glad you noticed, because I certainly noticed. It's really, really helpful. And then finally, to Tiziana, I want to make sure I get it right. You write, it's reassuring seeing that you guys are trying your best to think of every possibility to keep not only us students safe, but our professors as well. And I couldn't think of a better comment to end on. This has been a challenging year. This pandemic has made it really hard to do our work here at the college. And I'm so proud of the faculty who've continued to teach. I'm really proud of our students who've continued to learn. But you're exactly right. Our people first approach here at LCC has been to keep our people safe through this pandemic. What I've been telling everyone is when the pandemic ends, and it will end, we need to be safe and healthy so we can help our community respond. And so we're really proud of the fact that we've taken a people first approach. I thank you for noticing. And for all of the students in this class, thanks for writing to me. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a safe holiday. And I hope to see and interact with many of you in 2021. Take care.